Welcome back to Zodiac Talks Tarot. Today, we're diving into the cosmic drama you didn't know you needed, the subtle, yet oh so entertaining, differences between June Cancers and July Cancers. That's right, not all Cancers are created equal, and we're here to spill the astrological tea. So grab your celestial popcorn because this isn't just your run-of-the-mill zodiac chit-chat, we're mixing in expert insights, a sprinkle of humor, and a dash of sass to keep it interesting. Let's face it, Cancers are already known for their emotional depth, nurturing vibes, and, yes, occasional mood swings. We said what we said. But what happens when you break it down by birth month? Spoiler alert, you get two completely different flavors of crab. One might surprise you with their quiet intensity, while the other might make you cry harder than the ending of your favorite rom-com. And for those of you who've had a June Cancer ex cry on your birthday or a July Cancer friend plan a party just to cheer you up, this might just explain it all. By the end, you'll know which type of Cancer is more likely to host an emotional intervention or passive-aggressively steal the last slice of cake. Stick around, because these insights might just surprise you or confirm everything you've ever suspected about your favorite, or least favorite, Cancers. Either way, let's get into it, shall we? Before we dive into the subtle yet fascinating differences between June and July Cancers, let's start with the basics. Cancer, ruled by the ever-changing moon, is the zodiac's emotional MVP. These lunar-powered souls are known for their empathy, intuition, and uncanny ability to connect with their inner world, and yours, whether you like it or not. Cancers are the friends who text you at 3 a.m. because they just knew you were feeling down. They're the ultimate nurturers, making soup when you're sick, remembering that obscure detail you casually mentioned 2 years ago, and tearing up during heartfelt commercials. But don't let their soft, sensitive exterior fool you. Beneath that crabby shell is a fierce protector who's not afraid to bring out the pincers when the situation calls for it. Push a Cancer too far, and you might just regret it. Now, what happens when you take all these quintessential Cancer traits and divide them between those born in June and those born in July? Quite a bit, actually. While both share the signature emotional depth of their sign, the influence of their specific birth month can give them dramatically different vibes. Think of it as the difference between high tide and low tide, still undeniably Cancer, but with distinct flavors. Ready to break it down? Let's dig into the cosmic nuances that make June and July Cancers so uniquely fascinating. Trust us, it's worth the deep dive. Emotional expression, the roller coaster vs. the fortress. When it comes to emotions, June and July Cancers play in the same emotional ballpark but approach the game with completely different strategies. June Cancers are the zodiac's unfiltered diary entries. They feel deeply, love fiercely, and aren't afraid to let the world know it. Picture someone who wears their heart not just on their sleeve but also on their scarf, shoes, and maybe even their coffee cup. That's June Cancer energy. They're the ones crying over a touching commercial, sending you a barrage of texts after your cryptic "I'm fine" Facebook status, and organizing a full-blown intervention when you look off in a selfie. Vulnerability? They practically wrote the book on it and turned it into a heartfelt mini-series. July Cancers, however, are a different breed of crab. While their emotions run just as deep, they prefer to keep them securely locked behind an impenetrable fortress. Think of them as the crab that burrows under the sand at the first sign of trouble. Their mantra? "I'll handle this myself." This stoic approach can make them seem distant or even hard to read, but don't mistake it for a lack of feeling. Their tender hearts are just as sensitive. They've just mastered the art of quiet self-preservation. Whether they're an open book or a guarded novel, both June and July Cancers bring their own emotional flair to the zodiac stage. And really, who doesn't love a little mystery with their heart-on-sleeve drama? Relationships, the caretaker vs. the protector. When it comes to love and relationships, June and July Cancers are both deeply committed, but their styles couldn't be more different. June Cancers are the zodiac's quintessential caretakers. These are the partners who'll whip up your favorite meal, stay up all night listening to your problems, and basically make your emotional well-being their full-time job. Sweet? Absolutely. Overwhelming? Occasionally. June Cancers are the double text, triple text, and "did you see my texts?" champions of the zodiac. They're like emotional helicopters hovering lovingly but sometimes a bit too close for comfort. July Cancers, on the other hand, step into the role of protector. They're like the bodyguards of the zodiac, fiercely shielding their loved ones from harm or awkward social situations. While they might not smother you with affection like their June counterparts, their love is unmistakable in their actions. Whether it's fixing your car, standing up for you in public, or giving your ex the kind of side-eye that could melt steel, their devotion runs deep. And yes, they'd probably fight for you, though only in metaphorical terms, usually. But let's not sugarcoat things. Both June and July Cancers share a common relationship pitfall. Their intense emotional investment can occasionally cross into possessiveness. The key for them? Striking a balance between caring and controlling. When they master that, these crabs are the kind of partners you never want to let go of, clingy texts and all. Social style, the life of the party vs. the observer. When it comes to socializing, June and July Cancers bring their own unique energy to the table, and both are equally endearing and occasionally amusing. June Cancers are the social butterflies of the Cancer world. They thrive in group settings, effortlessly making everyone feel included and valued. Need someone to plan a group dinner, mediate a heated friend argument, or lighten the mood with an emotional yet charming toast? A June Cancer is your go-to. They're the life of the party, but only until 10 p.m., because let's face it, emotional hangovers are a thing, and they need their recharge time. July Cancers, on the other hand, prefer to fly under the radar. They're the quiet observers in the room, the ones sitting in the corner having a profound one-on-one conversation about the meaning of life. While they may not dominate the group dynamic, their presence has a way of grounding those around them. If you're lucky enough to connect with a July Cancer, you'll quickly realize they bring depth and wisdom to every interaction, even if they'd rather avoid the limelight. Both styles have their charm. June Cancers bring the fun and connection, while July Cancers bring the depth and reflection. Together, they make the ultimate social duo, balancing energy and insight in any setting. Just don't expect them to stick around after midnight. Cancer energy has limits. Creativity, the visionary vs. the traditionalist. When it comes to creativity, the contrast between June and July Cancers truly shines. Both are deeply imaginative, but their approaches are as different as modern art and a Renaissance masterpiece. June Cancers are the wild cards of the zodiac's creative circle, They're bold, experimental, and unafraid to color outside the lines literally and metaphorically. These are the Cancers who'll try a new art style one week and launch a side hustle the next, even if it's something wildly impractical like selling custom glitter-painted seashells. To them, creativity is about exploration, innovation, and sometimes just seeing where the current takes them. Think of them as the avant-garde artists of the Zodiac, always chasing the next big idea. July Cancers, by contrast, are the classic traditionalists. Their creativity is rooted in structure, heritage, and a love for timeless techniques. They're the ones perfecting a family recipe or painting a serene landscape with oil paints, their work exuding a sense of history and depth. Improvisation? Not their style. They'd rather master something tried and true than dabble in fleeting trends. Their creations have a lasting quality that feels both comforting and meaningful, like an heirloom passed down through generations. Together, these two Cancer types highlight the full spectrum of creativity, the visionary daring to reinvent the wheel, and the traditionalist reminding us why the wheel was so great to begin with. Both approaches? Equally brilliant. Humor break, the Cancer meme that hits too close to home. Time for a little astrology humor. You've probably seen that meme about Cancers crying in the bathroom at a party. It's funny because, well, it's true, but let's break it down with a twist. June Cancers are in there because someone made a joke that landed just a little too close to home. Maybe it was about their cooking skills or their choice of shoes that day. Doesn't matter, June Cancers feel everything deeply, so that harmless jab? Yeah, they're replaying it like it's the finale of a tear-jerking drama. Bonus points if they've texted their best friend mid-cry for reassurance. July Cancers, on the other hand, are crying because they've overanalyzed a mildly awkward interaction they had an hour ago. Did they come off as too distant? Too clingy? Did their laugh sound weird? Now they're spiraling into a full existential crisis over what it all really meant. Relatable? Absolutely. Endearing? Without a doubt. Cancers just can't help wearing their hearts on their sleeves, and occasionally on their bathroom floors. Whether it's June's external triggers or July's internal overthinking, their emotions are a roller coaster we'd happily ride every time, if only for the memes. And hey, at least they're crying in private. That's called emotional class. Thank you very much. Personal insights. Why this matters. You might be thinking, why does this even matter? Isn't Cancer just Cancer? Allow me, as someone with years of astrological and psychological research under my belt, to answer, not quite. Understanding these subtle differences can do wonders for navigating relationships, friendships, and even workplace dynamics. It's not about slapping labels on people, it's about recognizing and appreciating the unique ways they express themselves. Let's put this into perspective with a real-world example. Say your boss is a June Cancer. Chances are, they're more open about their expectations and quick to offer praise when you've done well. They thrive on emotional transparency and love building a supportive work environment. If you bring them a well-thought-out idea or ask for feedback, they're likely to respond enthusiastically, and maybe even throw in a motivational pep talk for good measure. Now, if your boss is a July Cancer, you're looking at a more reserved but deeply loyal leader. They might not shower you with compliments or openly share their feelings, but their actions speak volumes. Show them you're dependable, and they'll have your back through thick and thin. Don't expect a ton of fanfare, but know that their quiet approval is worth its weight in gold. By understanding these nuances, you can foster stronger connections with the Cancers in your life, whether they're cheering you on or protecting you from behind the scenes. After all, knowledge is power, and in this case, it's also empathy. Embrace the crabby spectrum. At the end of the day, whether you're a June or July Cancer, you're part of the Zodiac's most loyal, intuitive, and deeply emotional crew. June Cancers, with your heart proudly on your sleeve, you remind us all that vulnerability is a strength. July Cancers, with your emotions guarded like a precious treasure, you teach us the power of quiet resilience. Together, you bring a unique and compassionate energy that makes the world a better and far more interesting place. And there you have it, folks, the ultimate guide to June versus July Cancers. If you're still here, and let's be real, you are, because missing even one juicy astrological detail? Unthinkable, it's time to take action. Hit that like button, subscribe to Zodiac Talks Tarot, and drop a comment below. Are you Team June Cancer or Team July Cancer? Or maybe you're just a curious Virgo here for the drama, no judgment. Either way, we love having you in our Zodiac family. Stay tuned for more cosmic insights, and remember, your stars, your rules. See you in the next video, Zodiac fam, and until then stay lucky.